Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Preeti Khulbe and today's class I will discuss about quality management system, the ISO 9000 family of standards. This is the sixth or seventh video of this series, quality management system. If you want to know related to the previous topics, you can visit my previous videos related to introduction, related to general requirements, related to ISO series. You can visit my previous videos. Learning objectives. So upon completion of this unit, the students will be able to learn the quality management, understand the concept of quality by design, QBD, or all about Six Sigma concept we'll discuss in this unit. Learning outcome includes on successful completion of unit, the students will be able to know about the concept and use of GLP, role of ISO 14000 NABL, concept of out of specifications, change control, etc. Understanding about the ISO 9000 series. ISO 9004 managing for the sustained success of an organization, a quality management approach. So in today's class, we will discussing about the ISO 9004 series, that is managing for the sustained success of an organization, a quality management approach. Extended model of a process based QMS includes organization's environment and the continual improvement of the quality management system leading to the sustained success. So here you can see that in both the side, the quality environment organization environment is explained. This is the interested party. Both are the interested parties need and expectation, and customers requirement and expectations are there, and here the customers are dealing with this product. So here you can see in the chart, the ISO 9001 is there in the inner circle. In outer circle, ISO 9004 is there, and this all is related to the fundamentals or foundation of quality management principles. Okay, here so ISO 9004 different chapters are given, like ISO 9004 chapter 4 gives the information related to the managing for the sustained success. Similarly, ISO 9004 chapter 5 gives the strategy and policies which are related to the needs and expectation of the interested parties. Similarly, ISO 9004 chapter 6 resource management extended is included. After that, in chapter 7 of ISO 9004 includes the process management. Similarly, chapter 8 includes the monitoring, measuring and analysis of review, which is related to the customer satisfaction. Then ISO 9000 chapter 9 include 9004 chapter 9 includes improvement, innovation and learning, and all these are related to continual improvement of quality management leading to sustained success. Okay, so yeah. If we see the inner circle, so in ISO 9001, chapter 5 includes management responsibility, chapter 6 covers the resource management, chapter 7 covers product realization, chapter 8 covers management analysis and improvement. Now, now next is the success score, or we can say it is the sustained success. So when we talk about the sustained success, so the organization can achieve sustained success by consistently meeting the needs and expectation of its interested parties in a balanced way over the long term. The organization's environment is ever changing or uncertain, and to achieve the sustained success, its top management should have a long term planning perspective, consistently monitoring and regularly analyze the organization's environment. It identify the relevant interested parties, access their individual potential, imparts on the organization's performance, as well as determining how to meet their needs and expectations in a balanced way. Continually engage interested parties and keep them informed of the organization's activities and plan. Now, sustained success is also related to the established mutually beneficial relationship with the suppliers, partners, and other interested parties. We have already discussed about the mutually beneficial relationship. Make use of a wide variety of approaches, including negotiations and mediations, to balance the often competing needs and expectations of interested parties are also important. Identify associated short and long term risk and develop and deploy the an overall strategy for the organizations to migrate them. Anticipate future resource needs, including the competences, are also important. Sustained success also includes the establishment processes appropriate to achieving the organization's strategy, ensuring that they are capable of responding the quickly to changing circumstances. Regularly access the compliances with current plans and procedures, and take appropriate corrective and preventive actions. Ensure that people in the organization have opportunity for learning for their own benefits, as well as for maintaining the vitality of the organization. Establish and maintain the establish and maintain the processes for innovation and continual improvement. An organization environment will undergo changes continually, regardless of its size, large or small, its activities and products, or its type, by for profit or not for profit. Consistently, this should be monitored consistently by the organization. Such monitoring should enable the organization to identify, access, and manage the risk related to the interested parties and their changing needs and expectations. Top management should make the decisions for organizational changes and innovation in a timely manner in order to maintain and improve the organization's performance also. Interested parties are needs and expectations. So what are the needs and expectations of interested parties? So interested parties are individuals and other entities that add values to the organization, or are otherwise interested in or affected by the activities of the organization. Meeting the needs and expectation of interested parties contributes to the achievement of sustained success by the organization. Needs and expectation of individual interested parties are different, can be in conflict with those of other interested parties, or can change very quickly. The means by which the needs and expectation of interested parties are expressed and met can take a wide variety of forms, including collaboration, cooperation, negotiation, outstanding, and by terminating an activity. And strategy and policies to achieve the sustained success. Top management should establish and maintain a mission, a vision, and values for the organization. A mission is description of why the organization exists. A vision describes its desired state, that is what the organization want to be, and how it become the a mission is a description of why the organization exists, and a vision describes its desired state. That is, what the organization wants to be and how it wants to be seen by its interested parties. These should be clearly understood, accepted, and supported by people in the organization, and as appropriate by other interested parties. Strategy and policies related to the formulation. So in order to establish, adopt and sustain an effective strategy and policy, the organization should have process to continually monitor and regularly analyze the organization's environment and including its customers' needs and expectations, the competitive situations, new technologies, political uh, changes, economic forecast, or sociological factors. Identify and determine the needs and expectations of other interested parties. Access its current process capabilities and resources. Identify future resources and technology needs, update its strategy and policies. Identify the outputs necessary to meet the needs and expectation of the interested parties. Strategy and policies related to formulation. So these processes should be established in a timely manner with any necessary plans and resources being provided to support them. The formulation of an organization's strategy should also consider activities such as analysis of customers and regulatory demands, its products, its strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. A defined process should exist for the formulation and review of the organization's strategy. Now, strategy and policies related to the deployment. So, to implement a strategy and policies for the sustained success, the organization should establish and maintain the processes and practices that translate its strategy and policies into measurable objectives for all relevant levels of the organization appropriately. The established timelines for each objective and assigned responsibilities and authority for achieving the objective, evaluate strategic risk and define the adequate countermeasures, provide the resources required to develop the needed activities, execute the activities needed to achieve these objectives. Now, strategy and other policies, processes, and practices. So, in order to ensure that its processes and practices are effective and efficiently efficient, the organization should perform the activities for anticipating any potential conflicts arising from the different needs and expectations of its interested parties, assessing and understanding the organization's current performance and the root causes of problems in the past, keeping interested parties informed, gaining their commitment, keeping them aware of process against plan, and obtaining feedback and ideas for improvement from them, reviewing the management system and its processes and updating them as necessary, monitoring, measuring, analyzing, reviewing, and reporting, providing any required resources, including those for the improvement, innovation, and learning, the development, updating, and accomplishment of objectives, ensuring that the results are consistent with the strategy. Strategy and policy development, deployment. So the deploy its strategy and policies, the organization should identify the relationships between its processes. A description of the sequence and interaction of the processes can exist. Review activities by showing the relationship between the organizational structures, systems, and processes, identifying potential problems in the interactions between processes, providing a means for prioritizing the improvement and other change initiatives, providing a framework for setting, aligning, and developing the objectives to all relevant levels of the organization. Strategy and policy communication. So, the effective communication of the strategy and policies is essential to sustain success of the organization. Such communication should be meaningful, timely, and continuous. Communication should also include a feedback mechanism, a review cycle, and should incorporate provisions to proactively address changes in the organization's environment. The organization's communication process should operate both vertically and horizontally and also should be trailed to the differing needs of its recipients. Resource management. Resource management, the organization should identify the internal and external resources that are needed for the achievement of the organization's objectives in the short and long term. The organization's policies and method for resource management should be consistent with its strategies. To ensure that the resources are used effectively and efficiently, it is necessary to have the process in place to allocate and monitor, evaluate, optimize, maintain, and protect those resources. In parallel, research for new resources, the optimized processes, and new technologies should take place. The organization should periodically review the availability and sustainability of the identified resources, including the outsourced resource, and take action as necessary. The result of these reviews should also be used as inputs into the organization's review of its strategy, objective, and plans. The resource management, material resources includes the top management should determine the organization's financial need and establish the necessary financial resources for current and future operations. The organization should establish and maintain the processes for monitoring, controlling, and exporting the effective allocation and efficient uses of financial resources related to the organization's objective. Improving the effectiveness and efficiency of the management system can positively influence the financial results of the organization in many ways. Examples include internally by reducing processes and product failures and eliminating the waste of materials or time, and externally by reducing product failures, cost of compensation under guarantees and warranties, product liabilities and other legal exposures, cost of lost customers and markets. People in the organization, so peoples are significant resource of an organization, and their full involvement enhances their ability to create the values of interested parties. Top management should thorough its leadership, create and maintain a shared vision, shared values, and an internal environment in which people can become fully involved in achieving the organization's objective. The people are a most valuable and critical resource. It is necessary to ensure that their work environment encourage personal growth, learning, knowledge transfer, and teamwork. People management should be performed through a planned, transparent, ethical, and social responsible approach. The organization should ensure that the people understand the importance of their contribution and roles. People in the organization management. The organization should establish the processes that empower people to translate the organization's strategic and process objectives into individual job objectives and to establish the plans for their achievements, identify constraints to their performance, take ownership and responsibility to solve the problems, access personal performance against individual job objectives, actively seek the opportunities to enhance their competence and experience, promote teamwork and encourage the synergy between people, share information, knowledge, and experience within the organization. People in the organization competence. The organization should establish and maintain a people development plan and associated processes to assist the organization in identifying, developing, and improving the competence of its people, identifying the professional and personal competences the organization could need in the short and long term in accordance with its mission, vision, strategy, policies, and objectives. Identifying the competences currently available in the organization and the gaps between what is available and what is currently needed and could be needed in the future, implementing the actions to improve and or acquire the competence to close the gaps, reviewing and evaluating the effectiveness of actions taken to ensure that the necessary competences have been acquired, maintaining competencies that have been acquired. People in the organization involvement and motivation. To enhance the involvement and motivation of its people, the organization should consider the activities such as developing a process to share knowledge and use the competence of people. For example, a scheme for collecting ideas for improvement, introducing an appropriate recognition and reward system. This is based on individual evaluations of the accomplishments of the people, establishing a skills qualification system and career planning to promote the personal development, continually reviewing the level of satisfaction and needs and expectations of people, providing opportunities of mentoring and coaching. So these are some people involvement and the motivation in the organization. Now, the suppliers and partners. So, suppliers and partners include partners can be suppliers of products and provide service providers, technological and financial institutions like governmental and non-governmental organizations or other interested parties. Partners can contribute with any type of resources as agreed and define a partnership agreement. The organization and its partners are interdependent, and a mutually beneficial relationship enhances their capabilities to create the values. Now, suppliers and partners, when an organization is developing partnership, the organization should be given consideration to issues such as the provisions of information to partners as appropriate to maximize their contributions, supporting partners in terms of providing them with the resources, information, and knowledge, expertise, technologies, processes, and shared training. The sharing of profits and losses there with the partners, improving the performance of the partners. Now suppliers and other things, sorry, suppliers and partners selection and suppliers, partner selection and evaluation. So, the organization should establish and maintain the processes to identify, select, and evaluate its suppliers and partners in order to continually improve their capabilities and to ensure that the products or other resources they provide meet the needs and expectations of the organization. In selecting and evaluating the suppliers and partners, the organization should consider their contribution to the organization's activities and ability to create values for the organization and its interested parties. The potential for continually improving their capabilities, the enhancement of its own capabilities, and the and that can be achieved through cooperation with the suppliers and partners. The risk associated in the relationship should be with the suppliers and partners. Now, suppliers and partners performance improvement. So, together with its suppliers and partners, the organization should seek to continually improve the quality, the prices, the delivery of products provided by the suppliers and partners, and the effectiveness of their management system based on periodic evaluation and feedback of their performances. The organization should continually review and strengthen its relationship with its suppliers and partners while considering the balance between the its short and long term objectives. Infrastructure. The organization should plan, provide, and manage its infrastructure effectively and efficiently. It should periodically assess the suitability of the infrastructure to meet the organizational objectives. Appropriate consideration should be given to the dependability of the infrastructure, including consideration of availability, reliability, maintainability, and maintenance support. Safety and security. Infrastructure elements related to products and processes, the efficient cost capability and work environment. The impact of infrastructure on the work environment includes the organization should identify and assess the risk associated with the infrastructure and take the action to migrate the risk, including the establishment of adequate consistency and plans. Environment. So the organization should provide the manage a suitable work environment to achieve and maintain the sustained success of the organization and the competitiveness of its products. A suitable work environment as a combination of human and physical factors should include the consideration of creative work methods and opportunities for greater involvement to realize the potential of people in the organization. Safety rules and guidance and the use of protective equipment, ergonomics, physiological factors including workload and stress, work location, facilities, for the people or in the organization, maximization of efficiency and minimization of waste, heat, humidity, light and airflow, hygiene, cleanliness, noise, vibration and pollution. Knowledge. So, top management should access how the organization's current knowledge base is identified and protected. Consider how to obtain the knowledge required to meet the present and future needs of the organization. There are many issues to consider when defining how to identify, maintain and protect the knowledge. Learning from failure, near miss situations and success, capturing the knowledge and experience of people in the organization. Gathering knowledge from customers, suppliers and partners, capturing undocumented knowledge that exists within the organization, ensuring the effective communication of important information content, managing data and records. Information. Tweety. Information. So, the organization should establish and maintain the processes to gather reliable and useful data and for converting such data into the information necessary for designing for decision making. This include the processes needed for the storage, securities, protection, communication and distribution of data and information to all relevant parties, the organization's information and others. The technology, so top management should consider the technological options to enhance the organization's performance in areas such as product realization, marketing, benchmarking, customer interactions, suppliers relations, and other outsourced processes. The organization should establish the processes for the assessment of the current level of technology inside and outside the organization, including emergence trends, economic cost and benefits, the evaluation of risk related to the change in technology, the competitive environment, its speed and ability to react to customer requirements promptly to ensure that it remains competitive. Now, nature resources. So, the availability of natural resources is one of the factors that can influence an organization's sustained success and ability to meet the requirements of its customers and other interested parties. The organization should consider the risk and opportunities related to the availability and use of energy and mutual and natural resources in the short and long term. Give appropriate consideration to the integration of environmental protection against into aspects into the product designing and development, as well as to develop the development of its processes to mitigate identified risk. Seek to minimize the environmental impacts over the full life cycle of its product and its infrastructure, from design through manufacturing or or services delivery, no to product distribution, use and disposal. Now, process management. So, processes are specific to an organization and very depending on the type, size, and level of maturities of the organization. The organization should ensure the proactive management of all processes, including outsourced processes, to ensure that they are effective and efficient in order to achieve its objectives. This can be facilitated by adopting a process approach that include the establishing processes, interdependencies, constraints, and shared resources. Processes and their interrelationships should be reviewed on the regular basis, and suitable actions should be taken for their improvement. Processes should be managed as a system by creating and understanding the networks of processes, the sequence and interactions. The consistent operations of this system is often referred to as the system approach to management. Process plan process planning and control. So the organization should determine the plan, its processes, and define the functions that are necessary for providing products that can continue to meet the needs and expectations of customers and other interested parties, or on an ongoing basis. Processes should be planned and controlled to be in accordance with the organization's strategy, and should address the management activities, provisions of resources, product realization, monitoring, measurement, and reviewing activities. Process planning and control. It in the planning and control to of the processes considering should be given to analysis of the organization's environment, short and long term forecast of market developments, the need and expectations of the interested parties, objectives to be achieved, statutory and regulatory requirements, potential financial and other risks, processes, inputs and outputs, interactions with other processes, resources and information, activities and methods, records that are required or desired, measurements, monitoring and analysis, corrective and preventive actions, as well as improvement and or innovation activities. Now, process responsibility and authority. For each processes, the organization should appoint a process manager, often referred to as the process owner, with defined responsibilities and authorities to establish, maintain, control, and improve the process and its interaction with other processes. The process manager could be a person or a team, depending on the nature of the process and the organization's culture. The organization should ensure that the responsibilities, authorities, and role of process managers are recognized throughout the organization, and that the people associated with the individual processes have the competence needed for the task and activity involvement. Monitoring. So, top management should establish and maintain the processes for the monitoring and organization's environment, and for the collecting and managing the information that is necessary for identifying and understanding the present and future needs and expectations of all relevant interested parties, assessing the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, determining the need for alternative, competitive, or new product offering, evaluating current and emerging markets and technologies, anticipating the current and expected change in statutory and regulatory requirements. Monitoring, understanding the labor market and effect its effect on the loyalty of people in the organization, understanding the social, economic, ecological trends and local culture aspects relevant to the organization's activities, determining the need for the natural resource and their protective over the protection over the long term, assessing current organizational and process capabilities. Management, top management should access the process in achieving planned results against the mission, vision, policies, strategies, and objectives at all levels and in all relevant processes and functions in the organization. A measurement and analysis processes should be used to monitor this process together with and provide the information necessary for performance evaluation and effective decision making. The selection of appropriate key performance indicators and monitoring methodologies is critical for success of the measurement and analysis processes. The methods used for collecting the information regarding key performance indicators should be practicable, and appropriate to the organization. Measurements, key performance indicators, so factors that are within the control of the organization and critical to its sustained success should be subjected to performance measures and identified as key performance indicator or KPIs. KPIs should be quantifiable and should enable the organization to set the measurable objectives, identify the and monitor and predict the trends and take corrective, preventive and improvement actions when necessary. Top management should select the KPIs as a basis for making strategic and tactical decisions. KPIs should be suitable, cascaded as performance indicator at relevant functions and levels within the organization to support the achievements of top level objectives. KPIs should be appropriate to the nature and size of the organization and to its products, processes, and activities. KPIs need to be consistent with the objectives of the organization. So next, these are the references related to the quality management system ISO 9000 and series. If you want to go in detail related to the ISO 9000 series, so you can watch my previous videos related to the introductory part and related to the other parts and other literature matter. You can just Google out these topics, or as well as you can also cite for the good research journals in which some quality management things or quality management topics are given. Okay, so yeah, so thanks for watching. So this is all related to the quality management system, the ISO 9000 family of standards. Thanks for watching.